excited. It's been a long time in the process. We were able to identify these guys a couple years ago and develop a relationship with them, and not only watch them grow in basketball, but watching them grow as in a lot of different areas. And we knew from the beginning that we wanted them to be a part of our program, and we're just excited that they decided to come with us.
In talking to those guys, every single one of them mentions player development as being a big key. Just how big of a selling point for you is that in recruiting, and then how much does it help when they see guys like Grant Williams, who's a 2-star recruit, be a first-round draft pick?
Well, again, what we try to do, we are very, very, very transparent in our program when we bring recruits in and potential recruits in, and let them see exactly how we do it. But I don't think it's any question that when you have players that buy in like Grant Williams and Admiral Schofield, Kyle Alexander, Jordan Bone, those guys, I don't think it's any question that helps us but it's not just what we do, it's what they do by buying into how we like to see things done, and these guys come in and through the whole recruiting process, we tell them exactly how we do it. We don't want any surprises coming from our end. We don't want them to be surprised by what we do. I want them to know, we want them to know that we're going to work hard. We're going to do everything we can to help them get where they want to go. We know what their dreams are, and we want to help them get there.
This matchup, how did the two schools not anywhere near Toronto, a neutral site game in Toronto, how did this come about? I know it's part of the triple header, but
the Naismith, it's a Naismith game, and they asked us if we would participate, and we like it. I think not only does it give us a chance to let people know about the University of Tennessee and not just basketball, but for our university. There's no doubt that we have a university that we want to be known for our diversity, and we want to be able to attract students from all over the world, and so we want to play, and we've always said we like going to different places and give our guys different exposures and different places to play. And when they called, and we've got a lot of respect for Mike Hopkins and what he's done with the Washington program, and it worked out on our schedule.
Did you apologize to Kyle Alexander for not getting this game on the schedule while he was here?
His dad, Mom, we actually just sent Kyle's jersey to him, that we give him on senior night, and I would have liked to have been able to do that. It would have been nice to do that for Kyle. It would have, but this game just popped up, and a year late is what really happened.
What do you see from Washington? Break down film?
Well, obviously Mike's a strong influence from his days as a player at Syracuse and as a coach, for associate head coach there. We'll coach in waiting actually for all those years. They believe in that zone, and they adjust out of it. It's not just your standard 2-3 zone. He not only played it, he's lived it, and from all different areas, and they do that. But he played some man the other night. I think offensively, we know that you look at their personnel, they've got 2 of the top 10 recruits in the country, and so they're a very talented team, and they've already had some good wins, and it's still early in the year, but to see this defense will be good for us. And we have played a version of it at times here. We just haven't made it our primary defense, but we haven't been able to do a lot with it up to this point. But over the next couple of days, we'll have to get used to it.
When you watch the film, where did you see the biggest growth in your guys from game 1 to game 2?
Well, I think the biggest growth was with our older guys, and I think they won that game for us. I mean, you go back and look at what happened in the second half. Jordan Bowden, Lamonte Turner, and John Fulkerson and Eve, guys that have been in it, been in those type games. I still think that it was. I actually said to the team before the game, I asked Lamonte, how long did it take you to learn that everybody can play, regardless of who you're playing? He said a year. I said, well, we don't have a year, and I think our young guys still are learning that everybody can play, and if you don't do your work early, so the older guys, taking care of the ball was a big deal. The way Lamonte and Jordan Bowden had to play through the foul trouble, and John Fulkerson, but we didn't screen the way we need to. The first half when we're down, we didn't too many mistakes by our younger players at that point in time in the game, and so we still have a lot to learn from it. But overall, the second half, we defended. I think we had some really good defensive effort really from start to finish, other than the fact that we gave their two best players wide open threes in the first half, where we just didn't close out with a hand up. And I think as time goes on, as we go in and watch tape again today, they're going to find out all these detail things that we talk about. They're going to find out that there's a difference in a guy at this level that can shoot and a guy in high school that they think can shoot. And you don't get your hand up, guys are going to make shots on you.
Do you expect to add any more to the recruiting class come the spring period?
I don't know. We don't know yet. We'll wait and see how it plays out. You know, as the season goes on, you never know. I think you always expect change at the end. I think that you know, as you go through the year and depending on how playing time goes, I think you have to be prepared. There's no doubt about it. You have to be prepared for that. So if you're asking me, will we continue to recruit for this class? We will, because we've been in it long enough to know that we don't know how it all plays out in the end.
Coach, your best rated recruiting class this year, what's it like to see that work on the court pay off on the recruiting trail?
Well, a lot of it goes to obviously the success that we've been able to have the last couple of years, but also the assistant coaches, the job they do. I mean, it's amazing. I've said before, I do believe we have the best staff in the country, and they represent this university the way we want to be represented, and they go out and they're confident in their own ability to evaluate the kind of players that we want to be a part of our program, and so a lot of the credit really goes to those guys because they do it. I mean, they do it, and once we get guys on campus, I've never been at a place that does it any better than the University of Tennessee in terms of the way your support people are willing to help you while you're here on the visit. Those 48 hours are really important, and I think we all know that when these guys leave during football season, they get a taste of what Vol Nation is all about, which helps. They always talk about that. Sometimes they say they're surprised just how much our fans love the Volunteers. And then I think they see the detail of our program from the athletic department standpoint. I think they really see, because we have them meet with a lot of people, because we want them, again, we don't want any surprises, and we want them to see it the way it is.
What jumps off, or what jumped out with those three guys in the evaluation period with Corey, Jaden, and Keon?
I think different, all three of them, a little bit different. You know, Corey came up and, you know, he committed to us earlier, and I think he, again, was one of the first to see the player development program, and I think he recognized that that's something he really needed and wanted to be a part of, and, you know, wonderful family as the other two. But, you know, when you saw Jaden play, I can only tell you he's as competitive a player as that I've seen in a long time, and a guy that when he came in early he was here when he was a sophomore in high school and played with some of our guys, and Lamonte Turner and those guys raved about him, you know, about how competitive he was. And then when you think of Keon, I mean, he has just kept getting better and better and better, and again, one of those guys that competes at a very, very high level, has improved as much as any player that I've seen since we got involved with him, 3 years ago. And so you like that. You like the fact that they're competitive, and you like the fact that they're really the improvement that they have all made.
Two more. Do you think Josiah's pressing right now, or do you think he's missing so much time in October?
I think both of them, Rob. I do. I think both of them. I don't think there's any question when you're as competitive as he is, and you put the time in that he has put in, and it's hard not to press. I mean, it's just human nature, because he wants to. He'd like to be back where he was before he got hurt. But when you miss 5, probably more than that, weeks in October, it's tough. I mean, it really is tough, because that's a very critical time when you're getting ready. But so I do think that, and I'm not surprised by that, because again, he wants to. He's a great teammate. He's a guy that wants to do the right thing, but he's going to have to slow down a little bit. I mean, that's some of the things he's doing you would expect to come from some freshmen, and he's learning too. It's a different game. But I do think it's a little bit of both, where he missing time and then wanting it all back at once, and probably pressing more than he should be.
Defensively, how big of a challenge will contact side of it, going from last season mainly guarding the wings to possibly guarding a potential first-round pick down low?
Well, I don't care where he's coming from. It's a challenge, because Isaiah Stewart's a terrific player. I mean, he plays hard. He goes both ways really hard. Runs the floor hard, post hard. He does everything hard, and But it'll be, you know, I mean, I love Eve. I mean, I'll put Eve up against anybody, you know, because he's gonna give it his all and do everything, and so it should be a good matchup.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.